Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to walk you through a clay enrichment table that will be helpful if you're somebody that is doing peer-to-peer prospecting. In this example specifically, we're taking a look at your LinkedIn connections and enriching them for very specific information so that you can make ties between your LinkedIn connections and yourself and see where you guys might have some things in common. So in this example specifically, we took an export of all of our LinkedIn connections and uploaded them to Clay. We start the enrichment here just to see which of your LinkedIn connections actually meet your ICP, and then focusing our enrichments on just those connections that meet your ICP. Once we've determined that these connections meet your ICP, we're going to further enrich them from their LinkedIn profiles. And from those LinkedIn profiles, we're going to pull out key informations that we are going to compare to ourselves. So we're going to pull out their school name, where they're located, any interests that they have, past employers, etc., and then compare it to relevant information about ourselves. So in this example specifically, you can see here we're enriching them from their LinkedIn profiles. The first thing we're pulling out is where they went to school. And then we're checking that against either schools that we went to or schools that we have certain ties to. Same thing for location. So we're going to pull out where they're located and then check against where we're located to see any local prospects. We'll do the same thing with our employers. So we'll scrape their LinkedIn profile for all previous employers and then compare that list against the list of our personal previous employers to see where we might have worked for the same company. And then this last enrichment is where we can get really creative. So in this example specifically, we're scraping their LinkedIn profile to see if they mentioned skiing anywhere. So maybe in their LinkedIn bio, they mentioned that they're an avid skier, for example. So we're just scraping for the keyword of skiing, skier, and then having Clay tell us if they mention it on their LinkedIn profile. So a really personalized way to reach out to some of these people. This one is where we can get creative, like I mentioned. So we can scrape for things like maybe they're an artist, they enjoy doing paintings, for example, or they're a basketball player. So we can get creative with whatever your particular interests are and scrape their LinkedIn profiles to see if they mention it anywhere on their profiles as well. From there, we're going to score these contacts. So take all of that information that we just gathered about them and score them so that those that we have the most in common with are getting scored the highest. Those that we have the least in common with are getting scored the lowest. We'll then sort our list from highest to lowest so that we can see the contacts that we have the most in common with at the top, those that we have the least in common with down at the bottom. And then this is going to allow us to take this information that we found about these people and really personalize our outreach. So maybe mentioning that you went to the same school and pulling in a key point about that school, or mentioning that they're also an avid skier and ski season is coming up, for example. So you can really get creative with this peer-to-peer outreach that you're doing just by having Clay automate kind of pulling all of those key similarities for you and then reaching out to these people with that information in mind.